Welcome to In Cosmetics Asia's Speaker Saturday series, where we get to meet the experts speaking the marketing trends theatre this November. I'm really pleased this morning to welcome today's guest, Nicole Fall, CEO of Asian Consumer Intelligence. Thanks for joining us, Nicole.
Thank you.
For listeners that aren't aware already, can you tell us a bit about Asian Consumer Intelligence?
Sure. So we are a research and innovation consultancy based in the APAC region that focuses on providing global foresight. And we do that by unearthing consumer insights and use those to help our clients build strategies to innovate and create new value through design thinking methodologies, but quantified with data science.
Brilliant. And what exactly is your role at the company?
So I'm the founder. I'm the founder, but we have a really strong female team and all our researchers are based in the key markets here in APAC and they're based in countries such as the Philippines, Korea, Japan, Taiwan, China, Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand as well. And this female-led and female majority research team are all researchers and editors in their own right. And what they do is they're constantly tracking the markets that they're based in to look for, new consumer shifts, interpret what they mean, and then we use that with our methodologies, such as our data mining tool or our way that we use design thinking to research, and then bring that together either for retainer work or the project work that we do for our clients.
So if you're the founder of the company, what is it exactly that made you want to get into the beauty and personal care category in the first place?
Well, initially we were based in Tokyo, where we first headquartered the agency. Now we're located in Singapore nowadays. And when we were based in Tokyo, just historically, that market is just so strong when it comes to beauty and cosmetics. I mean, it always has been. There was that sort of trend for K-beauty for a while, which sort of took the gloss off Japan, but it's always been there as a very steady leader and very strong innovator in producing new products and also the consumer trends that drive those. So it was just one of those natural affinities where we, almost fell into the category. And a lot of our initial clients were fragrance houses, ingredients houses, and then we started working with the big multinationals. So really that's just how we fell into beauty, and as a consequence, 12 years later or something, we're still there.
Brilliant. What sort of impact do you think the coronavirus pandemic has had on the industry, or perhaps the APAC region or your area of specialism?
Gosh, it's a big question. I mean, we've been talking to our clients a lot about this, and we talk about this BC, AC world, before Corona, after Corona, and it's a narrative that's quite strong in the fact that, consumers don't change their behaviour overnight, and even with a huge unprecedented black swan such as coronavirus, there's still some elements of what we did before will continue into the future. But I think what's obviously been key is, just the initial idea. I mean, such strong, behavioural changes have taken place. And for example, not having to go to the office for a lot of people, that changes how you, wear cosmetics, what cosmetics you're going to put on, and also your skincare. In this part of the world, a lot of consumers were concerned about, environmental damage, such as pollution or UV damage every time they went out. And now with people going out a little bit less, that changes how they view their skincare products. So just overall, there's just been so much impact on so many different categories. And really, it actually also transcends beauty and cosmetics as a category too. It's just how people, their presentation, their identity is all tied up in terms of even fashion that's changed. And then also food, the ingredients that people are consuming, people are looking for something that might fortify their immunity, and that might then, impact their perception on their skin as well. So it's just been so enormous.
Yeah, there'll be a big impact from it, for sure. So we're really lucky to have you speak at In Cosmetics Asia this November. Could you give us a brief overview of the topic that you'll be covering?
Right, so we'll be talking about probiotic skincare. So what we'll do is we'll really deeper dive into the consumer consumption and product trends around that topic. So what we'll do is we'll identify the key markets where we're seeing most growth from a product perspective, identify some of the hero products and category leaders which are driving the category. And then from there, we'll understand, we'll try and interpret and decode some of the consumer behaviours that consumers are looking for when it comes to probiotics. And obviously this will also, this entire presentation will think about, you know, the microbiome, which we've talked a little bit about in the past at other conferences. And it just really ties into that whole idea and identity that, you know, traditionally probiotics was thought of as you know, a topic that focuses on food and ingredients and how that's shifted into you know, beauty and those ingredients, and also just the local interpretations of each market on what the consumer is looking for. So it could be that in one market, a consumer understands that probiotics might, you know, strengthen their skin, provide more fortified benefits, but in another market, it might be a different driver. So that's what we'll try to bring to light through our presentation.
Fantastic. And in regards to the topic of probiotic skincare, do you have any interesting statistics or maybe any exclusive tips for our listeners?
I'm not sure about exclusive tips and data, but what we'll be doing is using our proprietary data mining tool, which we call Verify. And what we'll try and do is decode some of the expert and you know, influencer opinions which are out there, and you know, using big data, try and make it into smaller data that will, and then from there decode it and bring it to life. So I think, you know, it's a topic that's been buzzy for a while, and sometimes within the industry there can almost be a sense of how do we make something new and happen when it might not necessarily be happening. So in our presentation we'll always be sure to sort of, you know, speak the truth. You know, what's really going on? Is it something that's just too emergent for the time being? Is it something that from a mass perspective might take a two to 3 years down the road? So that's the sort of stuff that we'll hope to reveal in our presentation.
Sounds great. So obviously that's going to be a highlight for lots of people at the show. What would be your highlight and what are you most looking forward to?
I love going to the In-Cosmetics show, obviously to speak, but more importantly as a professional, to really look around and connect the dots in what I'm seeing from an ingredient level, from you know, from a trend perspective, an overall perspective. It's just, you know, you know, you can search around, you can look around, you can talk to experts, but often just walking around, or even virtually walking around nowadays, will give you a sense of where the markets are going, give you the opportunity to speak to people who are in the industry and you know, who can actually say, yeah, this is what we're really seeing in our market, or actually often, especially from our perspective as a you know, consultancy, what are the challenges and how do we overcome them? And that's really what drives us. You know, when we're told that in our market people don't wear fragrance, or in this market people are really focused on skincare but not body care, for us that's a really exciting you know, insight. And then for us it's to understand how we can help uncover and solve that problem. So shows are amazing for that.
Great. Thanks very much, Nicole.
Thank you very much.